So to get the lock cylinder out, all you have to do is lift the little tab on the edge of the driver door. You'll see a bolt. That bolt has to be unscrewed. Use an Allen wrench, unscrew that. Once that is unscrewed, the lock cylinder slides right out of the door handle. Once you've got that out, you can set that aside and proceed to removing the EWS, which is underneath the dashboard on the driver's side. Got a couple of number 10 bolts, plastic bolts that has to be removed. Take those out and the EWS will come right down. You got a connector there, electrical connector, that has to be removed. You do that and you're ready to get some bench work on.
So now we have both the EWS3 and the driver door lock cylinder on the workbench in the shop, and we're going to start to cut the key using the door lock, and then we will program a transponder key into the EWS on this car so that the car will start. Using this lock, we're going to cut what we call a test key, and then once we know that we have the right cuts and it operates the lock cylinder, then we will cut the transponder or the key with the transponder chip in it and program that chip into the EWS on this car. The EWS is what controls the starting, or actually this little spring pin here has to come out, and then we'll slide this retainer. Now you got to understand this tail piece here is spring loaded. There's a spring underneath here, return spring, tension spring, whatever you want to call it, but there's a spring underneath there, and so you got to kind of like push down on that, hold it in place while you take this horseshoe looking retainer out. But to get the retainer out, you got to take this pin up. This front piece here can come off, and certainly this is the actual return spring. Now these are all the pieces that are down inside of the back end of this lock cylinder here, this housing. You got a couple pieces there. Looks like a spring, your retainer, and your tail piece. All these things go back together real nice and easy. Sometimes when you got more than one thing going on, it's good to put a little black mark or something like that, a little mark as to how things line up. But those are all the pieces right there, and we're going to take the cover off here, and we're going to take the plug out and decode it to make the key. I'm going to use a little pick here to pick this lock over, and so we can pull the plug out of it, and if we want, or we'll just use this pick that I'm using. This is a Lishi pick, and we'll be able to determine the cuts right off of the bat. Using this without actually Lishi high security pick here, we have determined that the correct cuts for this particular lock cylinder, we determined that the bitting is 23213432. We can convert that to a code, but we've cut a key to match those cuts, and now we can try it in the lock to make sure that it actually works, and as you can see, it does. Now we can put this lock back together, and we'll go ahead and cut the transponder key and edit this EWS to accept of that transponder so that the car will start. The cylinder parts all back together, and now we're going to give it a final test just to make sure that we've got everything together and that the whole thing works. So here we go, the key that we cut. This is our test key. This is on an HU, that's Hotel Uniform 92 key blank. They've got test blades that you can use that don't have all of the plastic on there. But anyway, let's go ahead and see if this thing works. And oh yeah, real nice and free, real nice and smooth. That's what you want right there. So that's the key. Now, I took this out of the car, but with this leashy pick system here, you're supposed to be able to do it in the car. This is this unit being taken apart. This is what the EWS looks like on the inside of this BMW. Again, this is a BMW. This is a 330CI model. So it uses a EWS 3, and this is what we're going to reset. We're going to reset this chip right here and program a transponder chip in and make the vehicle start. So using our laptop computer, we're going to go ahead and select the type of EWS that we're going to be working on, and we've got our system all ready to rock and roll. Gives us a few instructions there to follow, and we're going forward. Okay, we're going to attempt to read the EWS right now, and this is what you see when the BMW EWS actually is being read. Okay, we've got the file saved now, and we're going to actually program a number 5 chip into this key. A number 5 pellet is what we're going to program into this EWS, and we're going to do that right now. As you can see, we're still reading. You might pay attention down there on the lower left. See if I can bring you in a little closer here to see what we got. Takes a few seconds, and we'll have a transponder chip programmed into this EWS. We'll cut the key after that, and hey, we can put this back in the car and start the vehicle up. That's what the goal is. Okay, so we had some kind of mistake where we were not able to write that particular chip. So we're going to try that process again. Sometimes it's all in a matter of how you either seat or anchor the EWS on your your test equipment. So we got good connect, and we're going to keep trying to do this transponder here until we get her in there. The other thing is since the test equipment actually uses like a little proximity sensor to sense the presence of the chip that has to be programmed, sometimes you have to move the key blank maybe a little bit up or down on your test equipment so it'll pick up the chip. Okay, looks like we're good right there. Programming okay. That's what we wanted right there. Okay, so this one, we're done already. We're ready to actually put this thing back together, put it in the car, rock and roll. So the whole thing is, you know, this video it has a couple of different angles. The first thing is, Locksmith, you got to understand that this is something you can do. Every BMW does not have to go back to dealership. There's another thing also that you look at, and that is, since these EWSs can only hold a certain number of keys, oftentimes once the maximum number of keys have been issued, it costs a pretty penny for the EWS to be replaced, renewed, and all of that kind of stuff that goes on with these cars. Well, this is a system that's been in place since 1995 here in the United States. So the type of systems have progressed in number and capabilities, and now we're dealing with the CAS systems and things of that nature. But these I prefer the EWS 3, which you'll find on say 97 to maybe 2005. So there's a rich cache of vehicles that use this type of EWS, and either the HU92 or that the 4-track BMW key that you can do this service to. It's quick, it's fun, it doesn't take a whole lot, but it's a necessary service. And in my case, if you really don't want to either tow a car in or what have you, if you have a mechanic or you're a locksmith that don't have this equipment, you can remove this EWS that we showed you, remove the door lock, send it to me. I'll cut the key, I'll re-flash your EWS so it'll learn new keys for you and mail it back to you. We're talking 1-day turnaround. So you can make these cars run. This is something that I'd like to see more locksmiths take a part of. In either case, this is how it's done. So we're going to attempt to start this car. We're going to take our key we made and let's see if we can turn the car on. Okay, so the key is good, and okay, looks like we're okay as far as our dash indications are concerned. Let's give it a shot. Car's running. Car's running. Awesome. That's how it's done, guys. That's how it's done.